All right, we're back outside in the freezing cold. It's currently, I don't know if y'all can see that, 10 degrees. Feels like negative 15. Yep, we're out here working on the whip. Unfortunately, the transmission pan is leaking, and that's partially my own fault because I figured I could just slather some gasket maker in there when I put the pan back on and not run a gasket, which was kind of stupid of me. So we have a gasket here. We also have a filter. So we're gonna get this thing lifted up and start working on that. But first, I'm gonna build this creeper so I have something to lay on, so I'm not on the freezing cold ground. So I'll catch y'all once I put this together and get the car up in the air. Alright, so this should be everything we need to do the transmission pan gasket on this Is300. If you're doing this exact job on an Is300 like I am, you're going to need a pump, a fluid pump of some sort, such as this one. Reason being, there's no way to fill the transmission from the bottom. You actually have to fill it from the dipstick tube. So that'll come in handy later. And if you're going to replace your transmission fluid, you can get some new stuff. I will be replacing majority of it, and then I'll fill the rest of it with this Lucas stop slip. My transmission's not slipping, it's just added bonus because it's a higher mile car. We got our filter and our gasket, and then tools you're going to need. You're going to need an extension with a 10 mil, that's to actually get the pan off. You're going to need a 14 on a ratchet, and that's to break the nut on the bottom loose, or the drain plug loose. To catch the fluid coming out, you're going to need a catch can or a pan of some sort. Always handy to have some shop towels, and then obviously you're going to need a jack and some jack stands to get the car up in the air. So we're going to go ahead and get started on this. I'm going to lift the car up, get everything up in the air, and then I will catch you guys under the car and I'll show you the first steps. Alright, so to get started, we're going to take our transmission drain pan. We're going to put this right under our bolt, which is right here. We're going to just crack this guy loose. Ooh, she's on there tight. There we go. You want to be careful and go slow to not strip these threads out, so I will catch you guys once I have this broken off. I currently have this bolt out, and this is, it's decently dark, but it's still a nice red color, so I could reuse this. I'm going to actually reuse some of it because I'm not doing a full flush, but I will be draining all of this out, and to get the maximum out of it, before you lift up the rear, start draining it, because our drain plug is at the back of the transmission. So if you just tilt the front of the car up, you're going to get more fluid out of the transmission. So I'm going to let this run for about, I don't know, 10 minutes. It's going to stop dripping. I'm going to throw this bolt back in there. I'm going to lift up the rear, and then I'll show you guys the next steps to start stripping down your oil pan. Alright, I'm now under the vehicle. Unfortunately, the metaglasses did die, but I'm just going to be scraping the surface, so getting all of the previously put on gasket maker. I'm going to basically be scraping that entire thing. I'm going to do the same thing to the pan, and I've already removed my filter, which goes right here. It's dripping all over my floor, but that's fine. So I'll be popping the new filter back in, and then I'm going to scrape the whole surface, and then I'm going to spray it with brake cleaner and put everything back together. Alright, I have fully prepped the pan to go back in. It now has a gasket. We have sealer on the bottom side, on the inside of the bevel, and then a thin layer of gasket maker on top of our gasket. The good thing about using the gasket maker on the inside of the bevel is it helps you hold your actual gasket in place. So when you put it in, it's not as big of a pain. So basically, gonna crawl back under the car, line this up, put all those bolts back in. All right, transmission pan is back in. All of the bolts are back in. And I actually grabbed my torque wrench, and these are supposed to be torqued down to 5.88333 repeating foot-pounds. So roughly 5.8 foot-pounds. You don't have to torque them down to spec. Just snug them up pretty good. The gasket sealer should do its job, but I'm just being a little extra. So I also torqued down my drain plug. So I should be able to go up to the top in the engine bay and fill this thing up with fluid. All right, the rest of this process is pretty self-explanatory. Take your pump, put the end that sucks it through in here. And then the other end goes in your transmission dipstick tube. And if you did this exact job and you drained absolutely everything out of the transmission, you're gonna need 8.5 quarts roughly. So I've got whatever 1 gallon is in quarts here, and then the rest of it is in my pan. I will be filling it the rest of the way with that after I put my stop leak in.